Welcome, beloved hearts, into the loving embrace of the divine. I would like to invite you to bring your awareness to your heart, where we can truly connect as one. I am Katrina Armstrong, and I stand before you today as a testament to the power of the divine. I embarked on a journey of self-discovery and spiritual growth, all of which has birthed the alchemical movement that is Divinity in Action, that I am ecstatic to share with you here. Allow us to guide you through the wisdom of our esteemed leaders and uncover the secrets of the universe to unlock your true potential, as I had done in my life when I embraced the Christ consciousness and ascended into higher expressions of my soul potential. I'll share with you the teachings and wisdom that have helped me to transcend from my earthly bounds and realize the true expression of my soul. I'll be joined by some of the most compassionate and authentic spiritual leaders worldwide who also experience divinity in action. Allow us to share our insights and experiences. I invite you to join me on this journey of self-discovery and spiritual growth. Together we'll break free from past programming and conditioning and fully embrace our true selves. Join me in welcoming Lisa Barnett. Lisa is the founder of the Akashic Knowing School of Wisdom, where she has taught thousands of students worldwide to access personal soul wisdom and guidance to transform their life, working directly with their personal Akashic record. She is also the international best-selling author of Your Soul Has a Plan, Awaken to Your Life Purpose Through Your Akashic Records, The Infinite Wisdom of the Akashic Records, and From Questioning to Knowing 73 Prayers to Transform Your Life. With more than 25 years of experience in spiritual healing, Lisa teaches these simple tools which empower individuals to find greater fulfillment, happiness, abundance, and health. Lisa helps you align with your soul path, understand your soul contracts, and complete your karma and vows. Lisa will be speaking with us about that your soul has a plan and it's written in your Akashic record. Wow, how wonderful, how beautiful and miraculous it is to have you here with us, Lisa. What an honor, truly, to have your presence, to know all the hearts that you've touched with your work. And it's so wonderful to hear how you've touched so many people with the Akash and really seeing how it is that you're putting your divinity into action and inviting others to do the same. So I look forward to what it is you have to share with us today and how it is that we are to understand, how it is that we understand our soul's path.
Thank you, Katrina. It's a joy to be here with you and everyone. And so, of course, I love to share about the Akashic Records and help people understand their soul plan and how that can really truly support us to see our life in a higher light.
Yeah. So miraculous. I know that when we think about our lives and all the challenges of our lives, like, why is it that we have all these challenges? Why is it things keep coming up? And especially those of us that are highly sensitive, that we find ourselves in situations that are like, this does not make any sense to me. Why? Why does it feel this way? Why is it this challenging?
Right. And really, the simple answer that the record keepers give us is that because we planned it that way, in so many ways over infinite amounts of time, but we created this earth. We literally took this beautiful planet that we sometimes call Gaia, and we brought it down to the third dimension so that we could experience the earthly world along with, I'm going to say, a lot of programs that we wrote into it. And so I really feel it's so important to realize that no one has ever done this to us. right? Nothing is being done to us, that we truly are ancient and infinite creator beings. And we created this realm in which to learn and grow as a soul. And now we come here hundreds of times to get that learning, to deepen into the wisdom, and then to come back and support other people to help them to learn and understand, maybe move through it with greater ease and grace, right? So that's why so many thousands and thousands of us are here now sharing the wisdom and the light, is to really help all of humanity to wake up and to become just more conscious and aware about who we are and how we affect the world.
Absolutely. You said something that I felt to be so powerful, that we created this, that we are the ones that chose this. And when you said that, it really took me into this place, working in my work, when I work with people, being able to see what is really in this challenge, what is really showing up here. And what I'm hearing from you is this possibility of us being able to reclaim our power. And it's interesting to me, how do we end up there? How do we end up in that place where it feels like things are happening to us instead of for us?
Well, it's honestly part of the program we wrote into this dimension. It's part of the energy of the earth. And one of the things we truly wanted to experience is separation, right? We chose to create a world of separation where we believe that we are separate and alone, that we often believe that, that we're victims of our circumstances, and, that we believe this story, right? So it is a matrix that we've created. And I believe we, as so many of us, probably not every single one of us, but so many of us as very ancient souls said, hey, this would be a good idea. Let's do something new, right? And obviously that was a while ago. But we are now very much in the process of unwriting a lot of the old story, the old matrix, the old programming, right? So we are programmed to believe that we are alone. We are programmed energetically to believe the emotional drama and to get kind of stuck in those patterns and programs. And so the more of us that wake up and realize that we created this, we can uncreate it, right? We can undo this. The more of us that are on that path, the faster and easier it will be. And part of what that means is that there are, of course, probably hundreds of thousands of light workers here who are becoming aware of that we can unwrite old programmings. We can tether ourselves from this belief in this matrix story, that we can do healing for the collective. So to me, working in the Akashic Records, we can start to rewrite and unwrite and heal a lot of the emotional pain and trauma that we've had in these last 10,000 plus years on Earth. And so my intention is always to help wake people up and help them to access the Akashic Records so that they can do their own soul work, understand who they are, and then possibly go on to help humanity in a bigger way.
Absolutely. You're speaking on the rewriting of the Akashic Records. And, it's so incredible for me when you're in the Akashic field, to be able to be in there, to be able to feel and to be able to see things from what I would say as they really are. A lot of times we see them out here as being like, oh, that's painful, that's horrible, why would that even happen? But then whenever you get into the Akash, you start to see what I would say, what that was made of, what energy created. So I'm curious, how far do you go into the Akash when you look at situations? I know for me, there's been a lot of exploration into, when circumstances come up and we feel that, when we connect with a part of ourselves that's in the Akash that maybe was in like a past, timeline or past life, and they're coming up now, and we're witnessing these situations in our life that are playing out. Maybe we don't fully understand it, but what I'm hearing is that there may be a possibility to be working in the Akash, to look at that from a different angle, in a different light. And, I witness when we do that, the possibility that we have is to really get to see it and let it become something different. And I find that sometimes it's even just acknowledging it, even just seeing it. allows for it to unravel and create new opportunities in our lives. Is this what you see there?
Absolutely. So the record keepers always say that just the act of witnessing allows us to release a lot of old patterns. So when we can witness a childhood experience or past life experience and realize how we're carrying that forward, into our adulthood, and we go, oh my,
yeah,
I didn't realize that thing that was said to me when I was 5 years old. I'm carrying that wound, that hurt, that feeling of being less than or abandonment or, one of so many emotions that we often take on and carry with us. And we just go, oh, that's not the truth of who I am. That happened. That's how I saw it when I was 5. Or in another lifetime where the circumstances were completely different. And that witnessing, that realization that this is not who I am now really immediately allows us to release that energy. Mm-hmm. So it is amazing and profound and so simple, right? It's not even something, it's not like having to learn a whole complicated healing tool because you're in the Akashic records, which is part of source. And of course, there's that beautiful, pure energy of love and no judgment. And we're also in the quantum field. So we're in a space of no time. So it is possible to do profound healing with those kind of awarenesses and tools that can really transform our lives in so many ways. And so, when I go into the records, one of the things the Akashic record keepers asked me to do many, many years ago was to start a school and to teach people to access their own Akashic record. And I teach Akashic self-mastery for people to really dive deep into their records. And in that 2-workshop program, I also teach people to heal through the quantum field, to go into the void, to be able to ask the questions and pull up the lifetimes or the childhood experiences, the levels and the layers that we literally can start to see and release, right? So I actually teach healing tools there also to release the stuck emotional pain. They sometimes look to me kind of almost like a ball of white hot energy. And it's because it's had a lot of intention and actually pain. It's not light in a positive way. It's more like a white hot coal that is burning you. And so we literally can release it by using simple tools in the quantum field through the Akashic records and start to unravel ourselves in that way also from some of these patterns and energies, these emotional traumas that have, really held us down in so many ways. People often say, I feel so blocked. And it's literally like we're tied down by a lot of these layers and layers of emotions and traumas and, stories that we've written in our heads. And so it is profound healing as well as being able, to go into our ancestral lineage and do healing through the lineage, because some of the energies are passed down to us through our ancestry and some of them are ours from other lifetimes or even other worlds and dimensions. So we are finding that we really can start to access the more of our galactic lives, more of our starseed lives, to support us, to know who we are in that bigger way.
Yes. Oh my, as you describe this coal and being tied, and I just imagine that our flow, our life force, in our soul, like how does our soul get into the body? And, if we're blocked like that, like it doesn't have anywhere to really express or to open up, in our life experience. So I have this curiosity, when we remove the coals or these binds or these lifetimes, how is it that it connects into the soul?
So to me, it makes a lot more space energetically.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Really, if you imagine that you're all bound up and there's kind of, your soul is always here. Your soul writes a contract with your physical body. And so your soul is anchored into the body. They're really kind of separate units, but they have a contract to coexist. Yeah. And so, but if the body is really bound by childhood trauma and stories and ancestral stories and trauma, and then the soul is bringing in stories and pain that it wants to heal and clear, right? So we have, when we write our soul's plan, we write into that plan the lessons we want to learn. And so that often is really what people often call karma, right? It is a karmic pattern maybe that we've been trying to learn and not getting it next another life, but we try and learn it. And if we don't get it, we do it another time and on and on. And some of these karmic patterns run through our lifetime threads over, hundreds of lifetimes or thousands of years. And they're complicated, right? Especially when we look at some of the huge traumas that are connected to some of these karmic patterns. And the record keepers always want us to realize that we're not ever being punished. Again, we chose.
Yeah.
Born into that family, whether we're born into a family that has addiction or narcissism or abuse or abandonment, or just to name a few of the huge traumas that many of us have in this world. We said, I want to understand that. I want to be the love and the compassion and the forgiveness in that family. I want to maybe help these other people to heal. I want to break these patterns of abuse and addiction and support these people and stop that, pattern in this ancestral lineage with me.
Oh, absolutely. And I know that so many that are listening here have chosen that path, that have decided, yes, I'm showing up to be the one, that ends this addiction, this pain, this suffering, through the lineage. And I feel that at this time on the planet, I don't know if you're experiencing this, Lisa, but it's like it's coming even faster. We're experiencing so much more need to be clearing this out, to be creating this spaciousness. And, when we look at these soul contracts, I just wanted to ask you, how do we know when they're complete? I know sometimes we can be in them for so long and maybe they're already done and we don't know it.
Right. No, it's really true. Well, really the easiest way is to be able to access your Akashic records or go to somebody for a reading and say, is this complete? Am I right? Did I learn the lessons? Is it really done? There's some times where we can update or upgrade a soul contract because it's kind of stuck again outside of time and space, especially sometimes with our parents or siblings, or even a long-term intimate relationship, a long-term marriage. I have people who come to me after 20 or 30 years of marriage and they often are like, is this done yet? Am I missing something? And there's actually, sometimes it's very simple. Sometimes the record keepers say, it's complete. Part of that contract was about having and raising the children. And now 30 years later, that is really complete. And because your partner has not chosen to go on this spiritual path that you're called to go on, there's no reason not to go your separate ways, with love and gratitude. There are times where when I ask about a soul contract in the Akashic records, the record keepers will actually say they never had a soul contract. That was all human will.
Wow.
So that is also possible. I find those are the shorter lived relationships or marriages or business partners, because it's like, oh, this seemed like a good idea. But after, a year or two, you're like, I don't really think we fit or mesh. Maybe this was my ego in action, not my soul in action, right? And we're human, right? So that's a big possibility. And sometimes we can, like I say, update them, because sometimes our parents still see us as a child, right? They see us as the 5-year-old or the 10-year-old, and, we're 30 or 50. And so it's actually easy, of course, in the quantum field to update and really kind of upgrade the energy of these soul contracts with our parents, because the field, the energy is fluid. And so when we actually kind of realize it and have the ability, and you don't have to have some fancy, tremendous gift, but like we were talking about witnessing, sometimes we just realize my mother still sees me like I'm 5. Yeah. And that's not the truth of who I am. And we shift our energy and we fall into a greater alignment and truth of who we are as the soul embodied in this 50-year-old body right here and right now. And then we connect again. I teach a beautiful kind of simple infinite connection tool to connect heart to heart using an infinity symbol with the people around us. And so then you maybe connect heart to heart with your mother so she can see and feel you, the truth of who you are right now, right here in this moment. And so I love to share that I teach all these things in my Akashic Record workshops. And I also share a lot of these different tools and gifts in ways just like this. And it's important for us to step into our own empowerment and to start to consciously do some of this work for ourselves, because some of it is really very much about consciousness and witnessing and just knowing that we can change that energy vibration through love.
Oh, so beautiful. Yes, yes, through love. And I love to hear about these tools that you have, the infinity. I could really feel that when you were speaking it, how that would create just tremendous connection and opportunity to really get to know each other in this now. I have this, when we think about karma, what happens when we complete karma? In my work, I've been working with libraries beyond the Akash, and I'm just curious how it is that you see it. One, is it possible to complete karma? And, what happens then? What happens with us then?
Absolutely. Well, that's kind of a big part of the point of embodying is to learn and grow. And so what we call karma are just situations where we've said, I want to learn about that situation. I want to learn to be the forgiveness. I want to learn to be the compassion and the love. And then I want to share that learning, that growth that my soul has had with other people. And so literally when we complete a karmic pattern and we move into that, we feel that energy shift. We often will see the world change around us. We will open new doors, have new opportunities, right? It can really be very transformational. It can be big. And of course, it can be very subtle. And so what I know through the Akashic Record Keepers is that many of us then take what we have learned, those gifts from the soul learning and path and growing in karma, and we take those gifts and we speak about them. We maybe have a podcast or a telesummit, or we write a book or 5, or we, we get out there on a stage, or become a therapist, or we become an Akashic Record consultant and healer, or we, do some sort of healing work. And so we then feel, it's interesting, the word that's coming through is deserving. And it's interesting because it's a very kind of human concept, because of course, the source says you are always deserving of the abundance of the universe, right? But we as humans often do not feel that we deserve love or gifts or money or health or whatever it might be for us. And so often that's part of why we choose to learn about a certain kind of karmic pattern, or, have some specific sort of learning and growth, because it allows us as a human with a personality and an ego to feel the deservingness, to feel the depth of the wisdom that we have received, and then to be able to share that in the world.
Oh, that's so powerful, Lisa. Like, as you say that, when I tune into all of those that have reached places where they've completed karmic agreements, and you can't not be in service. You want to share it. You want to be alive. You want to be able to support others. And just that, the place you were taking us with the deserving, that's deep. I can feel the depth in that, and how that really holds people back from coming forward, even if they've accessed the gifts. So I can only imagine, how much is in the Akash around deserving. When you say that, it seems deep, it feels rich even. For me, I really see the gift in it all. So, but it took me a long time to feel that and to see it, but to be able to hold that, to hold that, like, oh, this is what's coming up. Wow. I'm excited to see what's showing up in your life. And I can imagine that's what you get.
Absolutely. And it's so kind of a piece of who we are, as humans, and part of the story we want to learn. And I know that we're really shifting it now. And so it will be changing over the next, it will be over the next 10, 20, 50 years, right? We don't know, because we also have free will, right? So it's based on that. But one of the things I often find is so interesting, and of course, I've completely experienced it in my life, is the self-doubt. And I think it's one of the most interesting things when I teach people to access their Akashic records. One of their biggest blocks is self-doubt, and it's often connected to self-worth and who am I? right?
Yeah.
Know this or get this. I always say, the claircognizance, which is really clear knowingness. And we feel that often in the heart. And it's often also connected to clairaudience. So we hear it, but we don't hear it like a booming voice outside of our bodies. We hear it quietly in our head with our own voice. And we feel that knowingness in our heart. And people say, but I don't know how I know that. And so I doubt that. And so it's a process for most of us to practice. And it's part of what I teach, because I know it's practice to hear that, right? Small voice, that knowingness, and to write it down and to make notes and to see what's happening in the world and how is my life changing, and was that message helpful, and did that door open? Did that come to fruition in some way, right? And it's a process for us as humans to start to move out of the doubt and start to know that's truth. And that is the record keeper speaking to us and through us. And the other piece that often will show up around that is, of course, one of these big projects that most of humanity is working on is this kind of low self-esteem, lack of self-worth, all of those energies that are part of the program we wrote into this earthly plane, into this energy. And so unwriting that, unweaving from our life, letting that get deleted and shifted and undone, stepping into our value and our gifts and really the divine energy of source, and knowing really that truth of the great abundance of the universe is here for us. And no matter what those stories are, I would say that it is actually possible to heal that through the Akashic record, because it is source vibration of pure love.
Ooh, wow. I just want to take a moment just to breathe that in. As you said that, I could feel the source vibration of love there. And I just want to breathe that in and come back to this, those of us that are ancient, that were here in the beginning, that maybe have bits and pieces, or maybe even just starting to touch that, like, whoa, wait a minute. I know this, and what it is they have stored in their Akash that can support humanity. And a lot of times I find those that are in service to the collective and how much they have stored there. So I'm really appreciating, the self-worth and the doubt, because a lot of times that looks way different than what the world looks like right now. So it can be things that are so unique or so visionary, which I find a lot. And I'm certain we have a lot on this call that identify either with being ancient or being visionary, that have these ideas or these understandings that, wow, where do they fit? Why are these here for me? It doesn't make sense. And with putting our divinity into action, I would love to hear any advice you would have for those that are at that place where they know they're here in service to humanity, and, to access that and to really stand in that knowing.
The record keepers are saying that it absolutely is a daily process of spending some time in one, actually grounded in your body, because that is the first step to creating and manifesting the new earth, right? We have chosen to do it through this physical form in this dimension. And so as we can truly embody and ground, connecting with Gaia and the beautiful awakening she is experiencing now, to spend a lot of time in our heart and kind of stop listening to all of the gibberish in our heads, right?
Yeah.
But to really let ourselves follow the soul guidance, whether it's the higher self or you learn to access your own Akashic records, however we step more fully into believing and understanding that, the easier it is for us to start to move forward and to stop kind of being stuck in believing we're simple little humans, and we don't really do this. And when we can expand our heart as big as the earth, it really allows us to make a big shift energetically.
Wow, that is so powerful. So powerful. And I recall you mentioning how there's an agreement between the soul and the body, and being in the body. And a lot of times those that, have these higher ideas or have access in, or they oftentimes have difficulty with that. because the body does have a lot stored in it, but you can't do it without it. There's a reason why, from what I'm gathering from this whole journey we're in together today, is that these experiences, these challenges, we have to be in them.
Right. How we're creating the new earth. So it's raising our vibration and starting to shift our consciousness, our energy field, our vibration, so that we truly can move into a higher energy and start to create the new earth.
Yeah.
Can we take a pause for a second? Is this your love to talk about?
Oh, how beautiful. Yes, the new earth. And my experience of it, my physical experience of it, is becoming the new earth, like us really being able to clear out that space and really unifying once again in the way that I feel and know we once were. That's my experience with the new earth.
I think I don't actually think with my head. I kind of channel it. I feel, I should say, if you get those sounds. Right. It is a process, and the record keepers are wanting us to be aware that it really is taking so many of us light workers stepping really into our own empowerment, into our gifts, truly knowing, letting go of the doubt, truly knowing that you are ancient and have gifts to share, because it's going to take probably at least 1 million of us or more to start to raise the vibration and lead the other, 7 billion into the energy of awakening. And part of the work I see the light workers doing right now is this unwriting, unraveling, just letting go, like we talked about earlier, letting go of the old stories and realizing that we're so much more than the body, right? We are so multidimensional that we can learn how to be that much more fully and start to share our gifts. And I find it's even very important to bring balance into our lives, divine feminine, divine masculine balance, right? All of the balances of the world, so that we can truly lead the way into the 4th dimension and then on into the 5th. And I just get such high hopes, or so much beautiful energy around what we are truly doing and creating. And so it's exciting to me. It's very exciting. And I'm always thrilled to have people, you and all of your listeners joining us on that path, on that journey.
Absolutely. It is truly an honor to be here together. To be doing this together. And I'm hearing from you, and you mentioned this a little bit earlier, that it's simple. It's not always easy, is what I would say. That, that balance, but knowing that we do have each other, that we have infinite access to what we would need. And we have the wisdom that each one of us carry to be joining together for this miraculous moment on the planet of birthing the new earth, what I would say, birthing it through us. And wow, what a gift it is to know that you are in motion, that you are in service and supporting people with moving through their Akash and understanding themselves in deeper and richer ways. Thank you. Thank you so much for you.
Thank you, Katrina, because of course we have passed the time of the lone wolf, right? Yes. So many of us, long time ago, we were healers in collective, and then we kind of went very much into a kind of energy of hiding and having to do it all by ourselves. But that time has passed. And so it is so important to come back together in community and support and love and really sharing of the wisdom, so that we can create a whole new vibration, that we can really, that vibration will carry us into these 4th and 5th and 6th and on back into the 12th dimension eventually is the plan. And so I am always excited to be able to be part of that. And I'm, thrilled to know that you too are part of it. And so many of the listeners are also part of these soul families and groups of light workers here to transform the world and create the new earth. So thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you. What a blessing. And there it is right there. That calling out. I felt it so deeply in your voice and in this moment of, hey, we can't hide out anymore. This is the moment. This is the time to come forward. So thank you. Thank you for that. All right. So many blessings to everyone. What a gift, Lisa, you are. And look forward to doing this together.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, beautiful hearts. Let's take a moment here to breathe into yet another powerful message from our Divinity in Action alchemical movement. I hope you found the teaching shared in this episode to be enlightening and empowering. Also, that you will take space for yourself to work with what was offered for your discovery and growth. Once again, I invite you to unlock your divinity through the wisdom of our speakers and to harness this beautiful energy to your benefit that will increase abundance, clarity, and freedom in every aspect of your life. By experiencing divinity in action, we will break free from past programming and conditioning and fully embody our true selves.